All right, welcome to episode number 27 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. This is the 1 year anniversary episode. I am Triple J. Joining me is my co-host, Dr. Games 101.
Hooray! It's 1 year, people! What's up?
Both of us are feeling a little under the weather, so keep that in mind if we do end up sounding a little drained of energy.
Yes.
Like I was telling Dr. Games 101 before we went live, I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to make it. The only reason I'm even here right now is because I was able to get so much sleep earlier.
Same here with me.
So, yeah, and since he's in New York sick, I'm in Georgia sick, my mom's not feeling well. It must be something going around.
The Delta virus, everyone, the media keeps saying, yeah, prepare for that. The Delta virus is the Delta virus that.
Yeah. Well, if you just listen to the news, you would think the Delta virus is all around you. It's everywhere and nowhere. But we do have some things to talk about today. I guess we'll just jump into the first topic. Mass Effect. They released a Mass Effect trilogy for Xbox One, I think PS4 also. And the trilogy did better sales numbers than EA was expecting. Because if you remember, EA said people aren't interested in single-player games anymore. Now, the Mass Effect trilogy, it was all 3 games, 1, 2, and 3. All the DLC for all 3 games were included. So this is like something that would take dozens of hours to complete. I'm sure once you throw in side quests and stuff.
Definitely.
Are you surprised that EA thought the Mass Effect trilogy was gonna bomb?
I thought it was just the first Mass Effect remastered game. Is that correct?
No, it's all 3 games. I looked it up on Amazon.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. I thought
that's why they're charging $60 for it.
Well, it's not all 3 games though, because when I read the previews on the Game Informer magazine, they said it's just the first Mass Effect game.
Oh, the way I heard it, it was all 3.
That's weird. Well, anyway, that's still a good thing though, because it censored the first Mass Effect game remastered. That is, because the definitive edition, whatever we're gonna call it, they censored the butt pictures of the characters, like when you go outside or interacting with the character in the spaceships and all, or have relationships with your partner or whatever. It kind of sets all that shit out. Excuse my language.
Yeah, I know Wikipedia you have to take with a grain of salt, but I'm reading it. It says Mass Effect Legendary Edition is a compilation of the video games in the Mass Effect trilogy: Mass Effect, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3.
Oh wow, now, that's a good thing.
So it is all 3 games, and usually in packages like this, any DLC that originally came with the game is included in these compilations.
Right. I have to say though that it's a good thing that they're releasing it right now. So it's kind of like technically speaking, the 9th anniversary of Mass Effect 3, and it's about the 10th anniversary after a year after the 10th anniversary of Mass Effect 2, so kind of like arriving at the right timing of things for the new generation of gamers. So maybe that's what happened, because people hear about this game from the past, they want to play it, but there's not that many copies out there. And they're like, you know what? Let's get these kids who play the remaster version. And look what happened. The sales were successful. So.
Well, the thing is, you keep buying. It's so hard for you to find games because you insist on buying them brand new.
I like to buy them brand new because of the fact that it's still in good condition. It's still playable, and also as an original copy. So it's not like if I try to download digitally on some store, I don't know what's going to happen to it. So.
Yeah, but you don't. But the thing is, when you tear the plastic off a brand new game, it's not brand new anymore.
I know.
That's why I say at least settle for complete if you're not going to settle for loose. I started because I was kind of like you in the beginning when I started reviewing games.
Hmm.
When I purchased Tekken 3, I bought it not brand new, but I bought it complete because I knew I was going to open it and play it to review it.
Yeah.
And I ended up spending like $40 on Tekken 3 back like in '09.
It's worth it.
Not $40 worth. Like I
If
could
it's
have I
brand
could
new,
have
that
gotten
is.
a copy a lot cheaper.
Right, right.
Yeah, it was somewhere around '09, maybe a couple years later. But the thing is, you know, I learned like that was actually the game I learned where I'm like, listen, I can't buy these games complete all the time. I'm gonna, especially when you talk about like Nintendo 64 games and Super Nintendo games, you're gonna have to mortgage your house to buy some Super Nintendo games complete.
Hmm.
Actually, that's a little extreme. More like spend a whole paycheck, a whole month's worth of paychecks from your job to
Yeah.
buy one Super Nintendo game in box complete. Sometimes, depending on the game.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, what about EA saying people aren't interested in single-player games anymore? They kind of look foolish for making that statement, don't you think?
Oh yes, because even though today in today's world is always about the multiplayer experience with the younger gamers, there's still older gamers like you and I who still grew up with single player experiences. So it's the originality of the game experience. If you don't have that with the game, then after a while you'll lose that memories or lose that nostalgia, you lose that ableness, the ability to play the game with no problems. Because now all of a sudden, with like Apex Legends or Fortnite, once they shut down the servers, that's it. You're not gonna play the game anymore. You can't play at all because everybody's on the server.
Right.
So that's why I play as
Right.
much
Unless,
Apex as
unless there's
possible.
a single-player mode.
Maybe that's if they have a
Didn't,
campaign of Apex Legends. That would be nice.
didn't they make a single-player mode for like Minecraft?
Well, Minecraft is survival mode mainly, so it's
Okay.
like one player to begin with. You're surviving as a offline mode in a sense.
You're talking more about battle royale games.
Well, a mixture of like online only games, like that of let's say, like I said, Apex Legends. Once that shuts down, that's it. You cannot collect no more skins. You cannot use the skins. You cannot even play at all, in a sense. So that's what playing as much as possible before it's too late. So
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad. I'm glad Mass Effect Legendary Edition sold as well as it did. I'm glad EA was proven wrong. Because that means we're gonna get more single player games on the way, remastered or just in general new IPs even.
yeah,
In the future, if EA realizes, hey, we're making money hand over fist with these single player games, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition sold real well. All
oh
right,
yeah.
next, I just found out about this story I think yesterday. On the Nintendo Switch, the Grand Theft, what I refer to as the Grand Theft Auto 3 trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch. By that, I mean Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in a trilogy pack. Remastered is coming to the Switch. This will
Interesting.
be the first Grand Theft Auto game to hit a Nintendo console since Grand Theft Auto Chinatown was back in 2008.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought
Um,
GTA never arrived on a Nintendo game.
you played what?
I thought that the Grand Theft Auto series was never on a Nintendo video game.
Most for most of them, mostly they weren't. It was PSP. Chinatown Wars was um was like brand new. Was like first time ever, and then it never happened again. You thought maybe 5 would have made it there, but not even 5. It just that Nintendo Chinatown Wars was a one-time thing, and now people who own the Switch are going to get the well, not the first three, but the three most popular first games on the Switch in a package. And I heard that package is also coming to other consoles too, like the PS4 and Xbox One.
I see. Okay.
Now, would you even just for enhanced graphics and all the games in one collection, is this something you would buy for Xbox One?
Maybe. Most likely I would. And what game is that you're referring to? Is obviously, by default, I would definitely buy the Mass Effect trilogy, Legendary Edition. But what game is this specifically you're talking about exactly again? I'm sorry.
Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in one package.
Oh yeah, they actually had that at one point for the PS3 or the PS2. I wouldn't buy it for the Xbox One or for the PS5 or even for the PS5. Why not? Make sure it's like a definitive edition or some shit like that.
Yeah. Would you? But like, have you ever completed these three games?
I completed the story of GTA 3, but not all the packages.
Right.
Because I heard that.
When I say story, I mean all the story missions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I also heard in GTA 3, if you collect all 100 packages, you unlock a cutscene. You'll see Claude try to escape New York or be arrested or something like that. I never got to that point yet to find all 100 packages. I only found up to like 35, 40 of them.
Yeah, you need like a strategy guide to find all 100.
Unless you want to take your sweet time to go through the whole entire, Liberty City.
Yeah, which you don't really want to do because like sometimes like say you would be searching for a car, you get into a car, all of a sudden a mission starts up.
Something like that, yeah.
You also I wonder if you also had to do those. So I don't know if I would be interested in buying this. There is one reason I may buy this, although I've completed the story mode in all three. All the story missions in all three.
Okay.
Because Rockstar is saying if this package does well, they may do it for other IPs like Red Dead Redemption.
I see.
Because Red Dead Redemption 2, and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, that might come in a trilogy pack if the GTA one does well in sales.
Okay.
Speaking of which, just in case it's a thing, did you beat any of the Red Dead Redemption games?
I never really played any of the Red Dead Redemption games to begin with.
The only one I haven't beaten is Undead Nightmare, and that's because I don't have it. I beat 1 and 2. Multiplayer in 1 I really enjoyed because it wasn't just deathmatch and team deathmatch. They had stuff like Gold Rush where you had to get 2 bags of gold. Like 1 bag of gold would appear in a level, and you had to be the one to get that bag of gold back to your part of the level.
I see.
Kind of like the capture the flag thing, and then like the first one to do that successfully twice would win the round, would win the match.
Oh, okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2, I really did not like the multiplayer. It seemed like it was more going like a Grand Theft Auto 5 route.
Well, they're not trying to appeal towards the all kinds of Rockstar gamers, so they're not trying to segregate their niche audience because Rockstar has Max Payne and obviously Red Dead Redemption, so.
Yeah, but the problem with Red Dead Redemption 2, it's one thing in Grand Theft Auto 5 to be like to have your own avatar in a virtual world, Los Santos or wherever, in 2013. It's another thing if you're creating someone that's going to be in the mid to late 1800s.
Right.
The whole thing that kept me going in Red Dead Redemption 2, the single player mode, was the story mode.
Okay.
The multiplayer, it just I really didn't understand it. I'd rather the multiplayer have been something like been more like the single player mode where they gave me stuff to do and
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas coming to the Switch and other consoles, I heard, and this could open the door for more more compilations like this from Rockstar properties if GTA 3 does well.
Oh yeah, definitely. The GT is this October is the 20th anniversary of GTA 3, so they can come out with something good by then to make it everlasting. Then that's good.
I didn't even think of that, but you're right. I didn't even back in the day. I didn't even hear about Grand Theft Auto 3 till January of 2002.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. It did come out in October of 2001.
Yes, it did. I played lots and lots of that game when I rented it next to my mom at the time. And she didn't know I was playing that many violent video games, but whatever it was at the time, really less than a week we get like a week's worth of gameplay from Blockbuster, so I tried to play as much as that during the summertime of 2002, I believe. So.
Next coming up, did you hear about the debacle of the Abandoned demo?
The Abandoned demo? What's that again? The game Abandoned.
Abandoned was the game being made by Blue Box Studios where everyone thought it was a Metal Gear Solid game in disguise.
Okay.
And they had a demo, and then it was like answers will be provided in a trailer, and they were supposed to have a trailer August 10th, and they had a demo, and the demo is a video of a guy walking. The guy takes a guy who you can't tell who he is because the camera's from the waist down. You see him walk 3 steps, and then the demo shuts off. That's what they gave us as a demo for Abandoned.
How long's the gameplay in the demo?
That's it. There is no gameplay. It's
it was a trailer. Was it a trailer?
What?
Was it just only a trailer?
No, it was a demo, but I mean there was like no interactivity with it. It was just a guy walking. You have no idea where he's walking because like the camera is so low that you just see the ground. You don't see any buildings or anything. It looks like he's walking in an alley of some type.
Okay.
And really nothing was answered about the game. So people are obviously upset because there was so much hype going into this just to be let down.
I see.
I watched Review Tech USA's video on it. It sounds like Blue Box Studios has been doing this since 2015. They always say we got a game, it's coming out, it's got engine problems, and then the game disappears. That's if the game even is released to begin with, which most of them they aren't.
I see.
Yeah, so this might just be Blue Box Studios again leading people around. But the thing is, all these games that are getting they may have released one of like the 5 or 6 games that they started working on.
Okay.
And like one of those games is unplayable, and Blue Box Studios doesn't even support it anymore.
Oh, okay.
And now we get the whole thing we get for Abandoned is some person walking 3 footsteps.
So, what was the point of the demo? Why is it called a demo then if there's no gameplay to play?
I don't know. Why would a game development company release that?
If they should call it at least a in-game trailer or something that's where it's built into the Xbox console players only. You cannot watch it on YouTube. You cannot watch it on other internet protocols. So, stuff like that. It happened with before the internet took over, replacing disc and all, with the demo disc and all for most games and systems. When you go to the store, they give you a free demo if you buy a game, whatever, and you play the demo, and you see all sorts of like 10, 12, 15 games at the most in one game. Some are like gameplay for a few minutes, others just trailers, like Parasite Eve. I thought I was going to play Parasite Eve for at least a good 30 minutes, but I wasn't. It was just a trailer. So I can understand that feeling of having that kind of series of trailers into one demo disc. But in today's world, you don't have to make a demo disc even if you don't have the gameplay for it. You just get the trailer and that's it. And people like it and anticipate it every time. So.
Well, keep going. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm finished.
Okay. Well, to elaborate on that, the thing is, this isn't. When you talk about like gameplay videos, that's not exactly brand new because that was at least. I had like 3 or 4 PlayStation demos when the PlayStation first came out.
Okay.
I ended up like 3 or 4 demo discs, and I remember like one of the demo discs. Some games mentioned were actual demos that you could play. Some games were just videos that you could watch, like maybe trailers, I guess. Like for example, one demo disc had actual gameplay that you could play of Spyro the Dragon and then Evil, but then they would just have gameplay videos or trailers of like say Parasite Eve and Rugrats.
Or if you want to play PS2 games demos like Devil May Cry, and get a sneak. If you buy the Resident Evil Code Veronica X on the PS2, then that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, I got a demo for a Gretzky game when I reserved SmackDown vs. Raw on PS2.
Okay.
You can only play one round of one matchup, but it's a demo.
Right.
But the thing is, so like these gameplay videos, they're not brand new. I've seen them before, but I've seen them on demo disc before, and people would have been fine with a demo if it gave some answers. But this demo or this trailer, whatever you want to call it, it didn't give any answers. People are still just as much in the dark about this game as before. And now that people are seeing Blue Box Studios' track record, this may be another game that people forget about and never sees the light of day. And I don't think it's related to Silent Hills. I don't think it's related to Metal Gear Solid. So,
right.
I think that was all excitement from fans, But still, so yeah, Abandon just took a big dump on everyone that was interested in it. What else? Okay, we did, since there wasn't much news and this was going to be a short podcast, we did add in a couple things that we wanted to talk about. Kind of like reminiscing, not exactly news stories. The first I want to talk about is video game commercials. Dr. Games 101, do you remember it?
I remember the game commercials like Final Fantasy VII. I rewatched the commercial about at least, I would say, a couple years back, the Final Fantasy VII commercial, and it said, and I remember the way it was 25 years ago, almost 25 years ago. So it's like,
was that the one that starts off an evil empire is sucking the life force from the planet?
Yes.
Okay.
If you did to press the reset button.
I'm familiar with.
Yeah, if you did to press the reset button, they said at the end.
Yeah. If you lose, you can always hit the reset button. Final Fantasy VII, only for PlayStation.
Something like that, yes, indeed.
I actually have that commercial on VHS tape.
Nice.
Yeah, but since you started, I'll let you go. And is there any other video game commercials that you remember?
I remember the Pokemon, not Pokemon, Pokemon the game, yes, for the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Regular. That's one set of games, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Then there's
Right.
also
But I don't remember the commercial for Pokemon.
yeah, they were like on this bus, and this fat white guy was like, "Hey, tell them to just calm down and shit," and they all start to act all crazy and shit on the bus and stuff with the Pokemon.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can bring it up to watch it because I've never okay 1990 I've never seen this commercial before.
Yeah,
Apparently they had one during the Super Bowl too.
I'm not sure what the Super Bowl. I never watched football until like 2010, 2011. So I was the fat geeky kid. So I was always playing video games rather than watching sports or even playing sports up until my last 2 years of high school. I started playing more sports than ever. I should say 3 years, like from 10th grade to 12th grade. But yeah.
What did you play in high school?
In the high school, I did rifle for ninth grade, bowling for 10th grade, track and field for 10th grade. I think I did. My 11th
Track
grade.
and field. You were just as big. You were just almost just as big then as you are now.
Yeah, they had shot put.
Huh?
It was a shot put sport. It wasn't track and field. There's more than one.
Okay.
It's more than one. It's more than just running, of course. It's about strength
Okay.
strength competitions.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, and then 11th grade, I think I played preseason football, but that's about it because I had stomach issues with my body, so my stomach and body, so I had to quit altogether. I tried next year, but then I moved out of Valley Stream for permanently because of my mom's financial situation. So that kind of affected my performance in staying with the football team after preseason of the 2004-2005 year. So basically, I could have went to the professionals if I was smaller, faster, and more athletic, But I didn't have the ability to maintain that. I couldn't do it because of the schoolwork. Because my mom wanted me to work in my studies more than just sports. And I didn't understand my mom at first because she's telling me that I was asking her, I should be a sanitation worker like my dad. She said no. I want to be a food scientist. No, she said. I want to be a game designer. No, she said. So I was like, you know what? Let's try some football and basketball, see what happens. And you know what? I don't like it, but she wants me to do it. I mean, she didn't force me. Well, she forced me in back when I was like from like 8 years old until about 13 or 14 years old, and then by 15 I started go back into exercising at the gym and and doing stuff for football and stuff like that. But other than that, that's what happens when when you have no father figure after a certain age because the mother takes over and she thinks that she knows it all and one thing leads to another. You could have, you should have, but you didn't. So I learned my lesson. So and I'm sure my mom did too. So
yeah, because in 8th grade in Memorial, I played baseball in junior high, and then I tried for the team in 10th grade, and I got cut. And when I got cut, I didn't even bother trying for 11th or 12th grade.
Of course not.
So, and those are really the only things. I kind of wish I'd tried out more things in school. Maybe not sports per se, but maybe acting or whatever. Then again, if you remember my situation after school, it wasn't that I didn't take things by choice. I didn't have the choice to take these things.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you remember, I mean, my own parents wouldn't even let me go to the mall after school because they said so.
Oh yeah, I mean
that was literally the only reason they gave.
I understand, and the reason why you couldn't go into my house in Queens because of it's dangerous and stuff like that. It's our parents can tend to shelter us for certain aspects of our life as different from each child. So
it's funny how like they shelter you thinking they're doing the right thing, but really they're causing more harm in the long run.
Yes, especially if it depends on ideologies and teachers you were taught in the very beginning of your life. Like if you teach your child to believe in all this black power, black empowerment, and then as they become adults, they see the opposite of what the community is doing. He becomes shocked, or you find out certain leaders are not the way they're supposed to be, and one is to another, we feel enraged.
I wasn't even going that far. I was just saying, like for example, take New York for example.
Okay.
Say at 16 or 17, you've gone to New York City by yourself using public transportation. You've gone to Suffolk County. You've gone to the borough. Any place that takes a respectable amount of time via public transportation.
Right.
Staten Island, I think would take like 3 hours if you took public transportation
from
Long Island. So that can be
and with the boat
over,
ride, it's a boat ride involved.
But what I'm saying is, I think like say you did that when you were like by yourself when you were 15, 16, 17. I think when you started looking for a job, you would have more options open to you because you would have a much bigger area to search because you know more than just Nassau County, you know more than just Long Island. You have all these other places in New York that you're familiar with because you've been there before by yourself.
Or at least I've been there with my family by subway, and they tell me to take these certain trains and buses, and I memorize them, and I go to the destination and back home. So yeah, I have that ability at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's why I've just been that's why I think when you're sheltered, it's really doing more harm in the long run because what happens when they're not there to shelter you anymore?
Definitely. And then, you know what's funny?
It's gonna be like sink or swim, buddy.
Yeah, here's the funny part. Since we're in a video game podcast, we cannot imagine what the older gamers, like anyone over like 25 or 21 even, I should say between the ages of 16 and 40, because right now we're in a stasis of where the economy is going getting back to normalcy, but at the same time the gamers alike, not all gamers, but a good portion of them, if they ever listen to this, they were sheltered and handicapped for playing games all the time, never read a book. And if they read a book, we'll say from like 10, 15 years ago, they never had a job, or if they did have jobs, they could go from job to job, place to place. So psychologically speaking, socially, they're like they're crippled. So imagine all the stress happened at one time, then they start going crazy, and that's what's going to happen. That's what happened with the mass shooters, or at least some of the mass shooters. So,
Right, exactly. But the mass shooters, like if you're talking about like school shootings, that's really more like people who were like bullied and just finally snapped.
That too.
Then again, some people wondered how I didn't become a mass shooter.
Wow.
I'm not joking. I'm dead serious when I say that. I remember one girl in Central actually saying that.
She thought you were a mass shooter or about to shoot up the school?
No, just still I got, even after, 10th and 11th grade, I still got picked on from time to time. And I'll never forget one girl saying, "How does James not bring a gun to school and just waste everybody?"
Well, that was the start of all this, the Columbine, so,
Yeah, but the thing is, Columbine happened, 97, 98?
99.
This event with me happened like 2000. This girl said this about me like 2003.
Yeah, 4 years after Columbine. It was still a fresh, hot topic, along with the sodomy of meth and shit like that.
Yeah, so one reason is I just didn't have the two things that really kept me from turning out like that. For anyone that does want to know, one, I didn't have access to a gun. Two, a lot of the stuff that may have pissed me off, a lot of it I just tried to let it roll off my back, and I tried not to take bullying personally. if that makes any sense. Like a
Okay.
lot of like just snide comments or like mean remarks or whatever. A lot of it, it's like, can I care possibly any less than I already do?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, some kind of discipline, even though you didn't learn from karate or from your karate instructor, whoever you look up to at the time. Because I had a karate instructor, he taught me some kind of discipline, along with mom telling me certain things not to do in the suburbs, and you know, and she was right about some things, but I wasn't a street kid. I was more of the gamer, the fat geek gamer back then, and my mom knew that I didn't have a father figure to look up to properly, a proper father figure to look up to continue with my mastery of karate or bowling or basketball, whatever she wanted to do at the time. And it's all about the right place, the right time, with the right people. But right now,
Yeah.
if I can go back to for a second with the gamers, some gamers out there don't have what we went through because they never experienced rejection, they never experienced pain and suffering, and if they did experience rejection and also mistreatment from others, it's only for a few months at a time, and that's it. And for the rest of their school life, it's on the screen with these video games. And one thing leads to another, they can be pissed off, say that, oh, I don't want to go out there and work a full-time job, whatever. I don't want to work a warehouse job, work at McDonald's, stuff like that. And their parents, will kind of like, soften the blow a bit, and they're going to act all crazy after that. So it's going to happen eventually in a series of events over time. I'm not sure what's going to start or what's going to occur. But eventually, the gamers who stay there for like in the basement for like hours, days at a time, and have no form of social skills, no form of work skills, no form of understanding of the world they'll put outside their apartment or their house. That's gonna be scary right there. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you're basically taking someone out of their comfort zone and putting them into an environment that they're not familiar with.
Yeah, they all know how to handle paperwork. They all know how to move boxes and stack them properly and all this other shit. Oh, sure, I mean, they can be taught. You can teach them. But they're like 25, 30 years old now and still live with their parents. We still live with our family too, but we're not like, we can still work. We just have other alternative means to work. They don't, these other
Right.
gamers. So,
Right. Like for me, I have work online. I have an online marketplace. Um,
you have your own business
and
and
I,
you
and
can
and my
sell
mother
things.
needs my help a lot.
Yeah.
So
And I myself, I'm considered to be not so successful in YouTube gaming, but I'm developing income over time. People have been donating, thanks to my friend here, James, and also a couple of us of my other circle of friends. But it's all starts from somewhere, and you gotta keep at it. So to whoever is out there listening, who is a gamer who don't know much about what's going on, this is for you to buck up and start taking your place in life.
yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that. Lord of Patriarchy, who was formerly known as War Corp 666,
Oh yeah.
uh, he was asked on a live stream one time how did he stay sane during these lockdowns, like when he couldn't go to work or anything. And he's like, honestly, I just put my time into this. I put my time into streaming. And
Definitely.
then he's like, and I got to spend time with hundreds of fans, even though it was through a computer. And I just put all my energy into that.
Yeah, he has a good following, like you and I are with
Yeah.
him. So I've heard about War Corps as early as 2008, but I never got into it because my either my mom or some peer pressure when I was trying to share with friends, they didn't like his content, so I moved on from him at the time. But by the time of like 2013, 2014, when I got back home from the hospital after a year, I started watching War Corps again until his channel got shut down and reappeared as Lord of Patriarchy in 2017. So
Yeah. It's funny actually, because a lot of times I watch YouTube through my Xbox One, so YouTube is on my TV, and Lord of Patriarchy was responding to video made by Airhead Ocasio-Cortez.
Okay.
And it's funny. My cousin walks in because he was going to use my the shower in my bathroom, and he was hearing what Airhead was saying, and Lord of Patriarchy paused the video, and he screams, "You're an idiot!" And my cousin's like, that makes sense. Like, my cousin wanted to know why I was watching that. When Lord of Patriarchy reacted like that, he's like, now I get it.
And Ocasio, she has power, potentially speaking, over not most, but the portion of the Congress. She doesn't know how to use it properly. And with her squad that she initiated or led, if you want to call her the leader of the squad or whatever, she doesn't know how to exercise her power properly. And that's fine, she's still new. But eventually...
But she's also a radical.
Yes, that too.
I mean, most people that love her so much are simps that are simps, virgins that never had a girl, and they go, ooh, huh?
Independent girl at large.
They think defending her viewpoints will somehow get her to sleep with them.
I mean, she is a good looker and all, but she's not my type really. So.
Oh, she's not my type either. I mean, like, if I would ever spend the night with her, she'd have to shut up, not say one word, and even then, she's just passable.
Yes. She does look good in those women's suits though that she wears. So, like, she's keeping it professional to the best of her ability.
It's just funny, since we're talking about politics, I'll mention it. On Facebook, if you remember the beginning of the year with the January 6th riots, everyone, AOC was claiming that she was assaulted in a certain manner. I don't want to say it on Twitch, but she was assaulted in a certain manner. I'll like type it to you on Discord or something.
Right.
Later. And the thing is, she had no police report. She had no kit in the hospital. She had nothing to back up her story in terms of evidence. And I was one of the ones calling her out, being like, oh, because also her own story didn't make sense. She was saying she was assaulted, but her own story was that she hid in her private bathroom until a cop escorted her out. Well, if you were by yourself in your bathroom until a cop escorted you to safety, how did someone assault you? I was bringing up that kind of stuff on Facebook, and someone got mad at me. I basically that was bringing up points like that, like poking holes the size of Texas in her story, not believing it because I actually have a brain and I use logic and thinking when I think someone's lying, and this guy who I'm not even sure if he's in the U.S. or not, he's like, how could you be so mean to a woman? And I'm like, listen, simp, you want to believe her? Why doesn't she supply evidence to support her story? And then it came out 2 days later that someone who works in the same hallway said the live has never even made it to our part of the building. What is she talking about? And I brought that up to him, on Facebook. I'm like, just an update you might want to know. And of course, the loser never got back to me because he probably realized he looked like a moron.
And was deleted his tweets as well.
No, his account's still there. His messages on Facebook. Well, this was Facebook, not Twitter.
Okay.
His Facebook account is still active from what I saw. Because not too long ago, I saw his name, and I forgot exactly what I said to him. So I was like, who's this guy that I talked to? That's not on my friends list, that his name I don't recognize. So I clicked his name, it brought up the conversation, and I'm like, oh, this guy. Okay. But it's just so funny that it's, like I said, it's funny when you bring up these things and they have no response.
Yes.
Just like someone who claimed that gas prices go up He claims gas prices don't always go up when Democrats are in charge. I'm like,
What?
really? Got a 10-year chart that showed the gas price for New York um, every month for 10 years. The months Democrats were in charge, aka had the presidency, it was more than when Trump was in charge, because the chart only went back 10 years.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, 2 years and 4 months after Obama took office, gas was this much. 2 years and 4 months after Trump took office, gas was this much in the same state. And it was like a dollar something less when Trump was in office. And the guy basically told me like how he was going to prove me wrong, and gas is high too when Republicans are in office. I showed him the chart, and I haven't heard from the guy since.
Well, yeah.
I even messaged him a couple of days later. I went to his Facebook, and I'm like, what happened? I thought you were going to show me how wrong I was. No answer.
Yeah, leave these guys alone for now on, James, because everybody's on record right now what happened for the last 15 years. And I'm not saying we are supposed to fight or start fights, but maintain the struggle or maintain the credibility of our leaders saying these things, whether it's Rand Paul, Mike Evans, his name is Senator Mike Evans, or Ron Paul, the father of Rand Paul. These guys, they've been at it for years, telling the truth. And you got Dennis Kucinich, you got Phil Berg, Orly Tates, all these people who are fighting for truth, whether it's about the birth certificate, or about the economy, or about the economics at hand, or the economy at hand with the nation, But it's also up to us, the people, to keep fighting to some extent. Each individual can only do so much, but eventually you can do a lot as an individual. Depends on how you're gonna sacrifice, how you're gonna work hard. What are you willing to give up to gain something else in the meantime? That type of stuff. So
I just have to ask one question. How did we get all the way here for video game commercials?
we were talking about like going to school, doing sports and all, and we
okay.
and all of a sudden we're talking about like being coddled and being in a bubble with our families, about going up places in life, and what they still know. We're talking about politics after that.
When I upload this part, I'll probably have to upload the part we just talked about as a separate topic, and then upload two parts together, because I do want to get back to video game commercials if we can.
Yes, let's do that. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault again.
Okay, I'll just blame you for this.
Thank you.
Okay, so Pokemon we talked about. I did watch the first half of the commercial on YouTube from 1998. What else? What other commercials did you bring up?
Well, I want to say it's a commercial, more of a trailer, and it's through the game I played for the first time, called Time Crisis 1. It's the first game of its series. Back in 1995, it was released on an arcade, and by 97, 98, it was released on PS1. And I have to say, the trailer or the intro to the game was awesome, about the faction taking over this country, the kidnapped the president's daughter. You're the one-man army, Richard Miller, trying to take out Wild Dog and his men. And it was some crazy shit, because there's no way one agent can take on that many men with limited ammo in his pockets,
Well, actually, Time Crisis that you're bringing up, I've seen, not Time Crisis itself, but we've seen games like that since the 90s, like Lethal Enforcers. Do you remember like the arcade games that would have the guns that you would shoot at the screen, and real and people that actually looked real would appear on the screen? You had to shoot them before they shot you.
Gunblade.
And if you succeeded, you would go to the next part of the level.
Yeah, Gunblade, Commando. There are games similar like that with cops and robbers, where you go into the bank robbery, shoot the bad guys, and you try to make sure not to shoot the good guys. I like
Yeah,
those type of
sometimes.
games back then.
Yeah, sometimes a hostage would pop up or something. Don't shoot me.
And then you know what's funny? Before you play the game, before like you put in your coin or whatever, it would say winners don't take drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
really?
There are advertisements in video games.
I haven't taken any drugs, and I'm not the winner. I'm still stuck at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, but there was. Yeah, but I'm just saying, Lethal Enforcers. I think Glenbrook Movie Theater years ago had that actual arcade machine. Of the actual game I was talking about. So Time Crisis wasn't as
Popular.
wasn't as impressive to me because I'd always seen some other system. I'd always seen someone else do it, and Lethal Enforcers, for whatever it was FMV, or had full motion video with real people, where Time Crisis still had like cartoony graphics.
Something like that first, yes.
All right, so is that it, or do you have any other commercials?
Well, there's the Zelda commercial, and this is somewhat recent. Well, not recent, but 5-7 years ago, before Robert Williams killed himself, he was part of this Zelda commercial with his daughter named Zelda. He was into the game so much of Zelda that he named his daughter after the princess in the Zelda game. So that was pretty memorable. Rest in peace, Robert Williams.
Huh. Yeah, I searched for it on YouTube. Robin Williams Zelda commercial #1. Robin Williams is a big Zelda fan. Such a big Zelda fan. In fact, he named his daughter Zelda.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've never seen that one.
At the time, she looks like she was around 13, 14 years old, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember also on Game Informer, I think someone said they wanted to name their son Wyden after Wyden in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Hey, if I had a son, I'll name him Titus from Final Fantasy X. And if I have a daughter, I might name her either Yuta or Ares.
Okay. Speaking of video game commercials on my end, I remember. I first have to bring up Rayman 2, which was the one where they compared Rayman to a guy named Ray.
Okay.
I told you about this commercial in 2015. You looked at me like I had 3 different heads at once. If you want, I can bring up the commercial right now.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I'll bring it up on Discord, and then we'll show it on Twitch. Just one moment to get that.
Which Rayman game we're talking about, though?
We're actually talking about the commercial for Rayman 2.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna put this on.
It's been so many years since I've seen
Capture.
a TV commercial about video games. I haven't seen anything like that in a while. Because everything's been on Xbox, if you want to watch it, you watch it on Microsoft Edge. If you have a computer, you watch it on Google Chrome.
It's
on
not
YouTube.
okay. Discord won't let me show the internet that I'm. Why won't Discord? Hold on. I'm just gonna exit out the internet and then go back to it.
Yeah, sure.
If not, you might have to watch it on Twitch with the delay.
At least Twitch improved their feedback loop, so that way it wouldn't be too much of a delay.
Yeah.
I remember back like a year,
Okay.
it's not a year ago, and earlier, when you record, when you play video on the Twitch screen, it'll be like a minute later. Now it's like 30 seconds, not even later. I see
just
it.
let me know when you see it, and I'll start the commercial.
I see it right and early.
You already see it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna play this commercial right now.
Rayman is the star of the action-adventure game Rayman 2. Ray is not. Rayman can shoot, swim, swing, fly, and even water ski. Ray cannot. Rayman has friends and enemies in dozens of epic worlds. Ray has a sister in Florida. So, remember.
I remember this commercial.
Rayman, not Ray. Rayman 2 for Nintendo 64.
I remember this commercial. It was like at least 25 years ago. God damn.
It's like 1998. It's more than 25 years. Like, well, 23
Almost.
years. But the thing is, I remember when we were playing Rayman Legends for Wii U. I'm going to keep OBS up because we might go over other video game commercials.
Right.
I remember when you showed me Rayman Legends for Xbox One for the first time. I told you about this commercial, and you were convinced I was making it up. You were like, okay.
Because I didn't remember all that shit back then. I was still. If it was 2015, I was like, no, that's when I was back on my medication, so I was still like, not tipsy, but like basically just like I just can't think straight as I used to until now, recently for the last few months or the last couple of years, I should say. That was back then, of course, 2015. So.
It was shortly after we became friends again, and you were like, it's I don't think you have the video up anymore. It was up on your YouTube.
Yeah, it got deleted by the channel got deleted by the DMCA claims.
But the thing is, it was just so funny because you were like, I was trying to explain that commercial to you, and you had no idea what the hell I was talking about.
That's how much of a bad memory I had at the time.
Another commercial that I remember a lot is Dead Rising 2 commercial. Do you remember the commercial for Dead Rising 2?
I remember it was that guy was on his motorcycle, and that's about it. That's all I can remember.
Okay, well, it was a lot. This is one of my favorite commercials, so I'm gonna play this too.
Okay.
Just let me know when you see it.
I see it.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I didn't disconnect Discord this time.
You press play.
Alright.
I told her Fortune City would be safe, but I was wrong. Now we've got 72 hours to escape, and in this city, creativity kills. Dead Rising 2. Creativity kills. Available now.
Creativity kills. Oh my god. This is back in 2010 in September. Wow.
I remember, one thing that's funny, that commercial came on one time on whatever show my mom was watching, and she's like, is that a video game? And like, she was impressed with all the different ways he was attacking zombies, like wearing that deer head to use the antlers to attack, and taping things together in the because he had like a one of those paddles that you use a canoe with chainsaws on each end.
Yeah, that was a Bojitsu chainsaw right there. Because the original weapon for the staff is called Bojitsu. Basically, you use you're utilizing the staff to hurt, if not kill, your opponent with it, and it depends on what kind of ends on the matter of each ends of the bow is called, or the stick. You kill someone instantly or just hurt them very badly. So chainsaws are definitely a double whammy for him, for that main character in Dead Rising 2.
And there's one more advertisement I want to play, but this was actually a radio advertisement for the original Doom.
Oh, okay.
But this was played on radios, and I never heard about this until I was looking up game commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, back in the 90s and earlier, they do a lot of radio commercials for video games.
Not the Sega Saturn, not the Jaguar one, where That was okay, but that's not the one I was thinking of. This is the old school Doom radio advertisement from 1990.
God damn. Get the fuck out of there.
Introducing the ultimate Doom from id Software. It's Doom, voted best game of all time by PC Gamer Magazine in its original entirety, plus the all-new way sicker than ever episode of Like Flesh Consumed. It's the ultimate Doom.
Now that's hot.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's a lot better than the Jaguar commercial.
Yes, I don't remember all. I don't remember any of the video game radio advertisements for the 90s, but I heard that they do put on the radio for commercials. Because I wasn't into it on the radio until I was like in 98, 99. I was like 10, 11 at the time, and by that time I still didn't know where to find all the radio commercials. So maybe they stopped doing it by then. And
They probably stopped doing it by then. Because think about it, like in the late 80s, early 90s, how many networks were there really?
yes,
Also, but yeah, so that commercial always brings back a little that radio advertisement. Even though I never heard it when it first came out, when it first played, when it was first broadcasted, it's still nostalgic to me now.
definitely.
As a matter of fact, I was playing this was years ago, I played the original Doom because I had Doom 3 BFG edition, which had the first two Dooms on it as well.
Okay.
And if you play like on the second or hardest difficulty, boy, are you in for a wild ride.
That'll be challenging as fuck, I heard.
Do you remember the monsters called the Imps? They were like these pink monsters.
They float like eyeballs, right?
No. They walked on two legs. As a matter of fact, no, they walked on two legs. I'll bring up a picture. I'll keep Discord connected, so like if we want to watch more when we talk about others, we don't have to worry about connecting again.
Right.
Imps in Doom.
Images. Oh.
I
I don't remember seeing that specific old school
I'm
Doom.
not talking about these things though. I'm talking about like these things. The pink one on top.
Okay, I think I've seen that before.
Let me bring this up so people on Twitch can see it. These pink things is what I was talking about when I said imps.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was playing the second episode of the first Doom. I think it was like the third level. I had like found the exit. Like the exit was on the other side of the room from where I was. The only problem, there were about 15 of these pink things between me and the exit.
Wow. That was the last level, right?
No, it was the third level of the second episode of the first Doom.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, I had my shotgun with a lot of ammo, so I just kept blasting each one of them until they were all dead.
God damn.
So that's the video game advertisement, commercial/advertisements that we talk about.
Yes,
next-
things definitely changed since the 90s.
Yeah. Next, this is something you suggested. You want to talk about teamwork in video game with online allies.
Yeah, the experiences that we as gamers experience for a good how many years now, and in PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, because it started because the co-op games started to increase in popularity since at the 360, PS3 years, and
Yeah.
all was well and good, right? But all of a sudden, when Halo Master Chief Collection came out, and for the last since 2017, 2018, give or take, when Microsoft Studios and 343 Industries listened to the fans for once, they finally fixed most of the problems of the game. You get these scrubs like these no-lifers. They play for hours on end with no break, and all well and good, right? But they tell you that you suck, you're trash, and we're on the same team, and we're winning most of the time that they say these stuff. I'm like, what's wrong with you? But then here's the worst part. You got other gamers who just want to fuck around. They'll shoot at you as a teammate for how many times, and the enemy's next to me somewhat. I try to shoot at the enemy, and I die very quickly because of that, man, because of the teammate. So that's just one example of that matter. Then all of a sudden, games like Battle Royale games started to affect the gameplay experience, like Apex Legends and Titanfall 2 is not battle, but it's still part of it. But Apex Legends started to have a lot of cheaters and people who portray each other now, and it's ridiculous because why is it that you're on a team and we're supposed to work as a team, right? You're not supposed to trash talk your team, telling them, like, "Oh, you suck," but you're the one who died first and foremost. What's that, James?
I'm just laughing. Go on.
I was just saying the fact that I was in this match one time, another match in Apex Legends. I play as Crypto, where he's a hacker, so he hacks doors. He picks up banners if your teammate dies, and transfers to the respawn point without turning on the 10-second delay. He turns it on automatically. So that's a good thing, right? That's what I did. And beforehand, the teammates tell me, "Oh, if you revive us, we're not gonna help you out." What? And I thought he was just joking around. I thought it was a troll. But I revived them, right? And then when I died, when I got knocked down by the opponent, they fucked around with me. They said they were gonna revive me, and they did over and over and over, and I died within a matter of like a minute or two. And after that, they lost not even in 15th place or 10th place at best. So if they recovered me, we would have won the match at least up to 5th place at the earliest or at the lowest point of the game. Because I can be the backbone of the team for covering people, not just to attack all the time. But these kids don't care about that. I'm not trying to say that all of them are immature, but the younger gamers, to those who are listening, you guys gotta learn more about teamwork, because you never learn that in school now for some strange reason. You don't learn the fact that put our differences aside, black, white, rich or poor, we work as a team, we fight to get we're number one. But these kids tell me that I'm weak, I'm stupid, I don't know how to play the game and stuff. I'm like, first and foremost, I don't just fucking keep fighting and just thinking that I want to win all the time. That's not how it works. You don't just go through like 20 guys and then you win the battle royale with ease like that. You gotta bop and weave. You have to be more like subtle. No conflict, if not at all, no conflict at all, and just avoid them, because there are times when I'll be seeing a 3-person squad walk past by me because I was in hiding, and both my teammates died until I get them recovered. So I'm not gonna fight them. Like who's crazy enough to do that? I mean, and that's what they don't learn. They think this is all about. I mean, it's okay, it's a fun and games zone, but it's like, if you're serious about being number one, then serious about being number one.
Okay.
Well, I know it sounds like just ranting, but still, it's like we as gamers, like, if it's a team-based game, we do our best. Yes, some players, they suck. I'm one of them in Halo Master Chief Collection as of late. But I'm on level 16, and we're down level 15 right now. So I'm not your average Joe Schmo. in Halo Master Chief Collection. They have to understand that too. I worked my ass off since 2016 in Halo 3 Team Slayer as one example to get up to level 16, the latest. And after that, whatever goes, right? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I actually have to agree with you because, like I said, for anyone who has not played this game, I think it was PS3. I think it was on PS3 and Xbox 360, called Bloodstone 007. Unfortunately, the multiplayer is no longer up, but that game had an awesome multiplayer. And at first, when it was competitive multiplayer, it was fun. But then, like, one time I joined an online game, there were like these 9-10-year-old kids, and the thing is, they were just like shooting each other just to get like the achievements, basically.
Okay.
They were spamming the achievement, like, I'll shoot you 15 times to get 15 kills, then you shoot me 15 times to get 15 kills, and it's just like, no, that's boring.
There's no structure.
Yeah, it's just like, if I earn an achievement when I play a game, I want to earn I don't have to say I want to earn the achievement. I could really care less either way, but the game's going to be a lot more fun if you're playing the game the way it was intended, instead of just trying to make sure you get every achievement without even earning them.
Oh yeah. And if I can add too with my stories of Battle Royale games specifically, it after I died in Apex Legends one match, my two teammates were dancing around with other teammates at the end of the match. So it was like the circles get smaller and smaller, and they're all just dancing around like nothing's happening. And we're number 2, and we die as number 2, rather than die as number 1. It's stupid,
Yeah.
Like what? Like why are you guys dancing around? Like it's always. I'm okay with having a good time, but man, they never experienced some form of conflict before. I feel like it.
And we might be talking about Bloodstone 007 again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry,
when we get
guys.
to the next topic. But like I've had also situations like that, like Gears of War, where I was playing the multiplayer the way it was intended. All of a sudden, I got kicked off the game. I got booted out.
What?
And then 2 people from that same match were begging me to come back. Apparently, but the thing is, I was playing the game the way it was intended. It was team deathmatch, COD against Swarm, and I was taking cover, shooting at the enemy.
Okay.
So yeah, but the thing is, I've also had good experiences, and most of the time I have good experiences. Whether like Left 4 Dead 2, I remember one time, maybe I told the story, but I'll tell it again. I was working on a campaign I was allowing people to join my game, and like I was pinned down by a bunch of zombies, and I'm on my headset, I'm like, hey, can someone come, the other 3 characters were running to the boat to escape. I was like, can someone come back? I'm pinned down, I can't move. And then and a minute later you see 2 characters return and kill just enough zombies so I can get away and escape with them.
That's good.
And that's pretty cool. Also, I don't think they would have been able to escape until I officially died anyway, if they had abandoned. So yeah, it's just. And I mean, I have good experiences playing Friday the 13th, except when I'm Jason, because I really don't. I played as Jason like 3 times, so like I'm not familiar with the controls. When I swing the machete, it doesn't kill someone; it just hurts them, and I still manage to escape. But at least I'm trying.
Oh yeah.
And I have escaped. What?
Oh yeah.
And I have escaped as a counselor maybe once or twice. I've played it like maybe 25, 30 times. And one time it was the other people that got me killed because we had the car ready to go. Like the car had gas, if the engine was working. So I stopped for someone because we had because it was a 4-door car, and the object of the game, if you never played it, is if you're a counselor, you either have to escape, either you have to escape, or by car, by boat, or you have to survive the night, or you have to kill Jason if you're a counselor.
I see.
And like so, like I was in the car, I was driving it. I had two counselors in back. I'm waiting for a fourth person to get in because not to leave them behind. And that caused Jason to pull me out of the car and kill me.
Oh wow.
And then they took the car and drove off.
Well, you were the bait and switch, so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I play Left 4 Dead. I play Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I own both those games on
You
the
played
PC.
it with me one time.
What's that?
You played it with me once.
Oh yeah, on the 360.
And you didn't want people to join our game. Remember, I was gonna leave it where people could join our game, and you're like, no, just make it a private game. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, because there's no such thing as loyalty to most of these randoms, you know.
So
They'll leave your ass behind if you're like a horde of zombies.
Yeah, so that's really all the teamwork games I can talk about that I can think of.
Okay.
Next topic, video game stories that meant a lot to you personally. What I'm asking here is Dr. Games 101. Like, think back to like story-based video games that you played. What stories, like, even though you've completed them, even though you played the video game, they still hold like a big part of your mind. The story of the video game still holds a big part of your mind.
Right. I have to say, the Metal Gear Solid series is the most influential of the rich stories in my life, because the first Metal Gear Solid game that I played for the first time, I did not understand all this terminology like buffs and nuclear warfare and stuff like that because I was just a kid. But then as I got older, I played it over and over again. By 5-6 years ago, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 for like the 30th time, and I started understanding more about these terrorist activities and understand about the world wars and international conspiracies, that type of stuff. So it's like I'm understanding about the world better and better as I get older and older, and I guarantee myself
the societal sanity is.
Yeah, that type of stuff. Because in Metal Gear Solid 2, at the end of the game, Colonel, who was not the Colonel, he's like a robot, he's an AI of sorts. He explains that the AI's plan is to make sure that it's elite sexual sanity society, or whatever he called it, something of that sort.
It was selection for societal sanity.
Yeah, not the S3 plan or what the solid snake simulation bullshit. It was actually about society at large, and I was like, wow. And these days, people now heard of the Metal Gear Solid 2 outline of that particular scene, and people still memorize it to this day. Like, oh wow, this is what's going on with our governments and our NGOs and society at large.
Yeah, I'd play it, but that's like a 15-minute cutscene, so.
Yeah, no, it was very memorable. If I played Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 all in one shot, I would definitely understand the story a lot better. Sometime I might do that sometime this next year, if I ever have time to record Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 in full gameplay. That'll be nice. Cause I memorize a lot of shit, so it'll be a lot faster. So instead of it being 8 hours per game, Metal Gear Solid 3 will be like instead of 20 hours, like about 15 hours.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we know Metal Gear Solid. Well, I don't know about you, and I didn't mean to interrupt. We'll get back to the question I had in a minute. But like, do you agree we know Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 like we know the back of our hand?
I wouldn't say the back of the hand literally, but I remember some scenes where you fight against the Hind D helicopter with the fucking rocket launcher, aka Stinger launcher.
Stinger, yep.
Yeah, then you also love to Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid 2 with a Stinger launcher with a Harrier. You go against someone with Harrier. That's even a lot worse because a Harrier can actually hover around and goes fast as hell to get away from from your missiles and shit like that. So that's how I learned about weaponry.
I've just played the game so much on at least on easy. I played or very easy, whatever the easiest difficulty is. I played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 so many times.
Yeah, you in that easy mode.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to play. I mean, I did beat Metal Gear Solid 2 on the first 3 difficulties.
Okay, well, I'll give you a break on that.
But like Metal Gear Solid, they have 4 difficulties. The 4th is locked until you beat the game once. And like the first 2, and like the hardest 2 difficulties, you don't even have the radar to depend on.
Yeah, I heard there was such thing as a European extreme mode. So shit like that. That's harder than extreme mode, to be more exact.
There is an extreme mode, and the thing is, you have to beat the game on one of the first 3 difficulties to unlock extreme.
Of course.
Difficulty.
Of course.
I've never tried it, so.
I tried extreme mode of Metal Gear Solid 2 one time, and it was hard as hell. I couldn't get past Vamp at the end. I got to that point where I wanted to get some Vamp in extreme mode in Metal Gear Solid 2. It was hard.
The furthest I got Metal Gear Solid 2, if you want to talk about difficulty, it was on hard, the second hardest difficulty. Right before you fight Solidus, when he's in the Harrier, you have to take out like all those bombs that are on that bridge.
Okay.
I couldn't find all of them.
Really?
Yeah, so that's the furthest I've beaten Metal Gear Solid 2 on like very easy and normal.
Okay.
But go on, as you were saying. So that the story in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 means a lot. Any other games that have a story that still stick out to you?
Final Fantasy 7 again. Even though that was there was audio visuals, yes, but not like overlay of voices talking about the story per se. You had to read the text back then, and it was because I was a guy who would read a lot of books thanks to my mom.
Well, one moment, I just gotta check something.
Okay. I had to read a lot of books thanks to my mom and all, so it's kind of like interesting that I can still read the stuff on screen. So, back then, guys, back during the 1890s, we didn't have voice overlay or voiceover for most of these games. You had to keep reading the text of each of these characters, what they're saying, so they can't see the word the F word, or the S word, or any other foreign English. But still, get the idea. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so Final Fantasy 7. What did I miss anything? Final Fantasy 7. Anything else?
I would like to mention games like Call of Duty, but it's very out of the open so far because Call of Duty came out back in the 2000s, so that's when voice narration started to, take effect with most of our gameplay experiences. And so it's interactive, yes, but it's not as educational because it's all about the action, not about the story per se. So.
I would disagree with that. It depends on the Call of Duty game that you're talking about. Like Modern Warfare 2 had a good story, especially with the airport level.
Oh yes. Remember, no
Black
Russian.
Ops, I like the way they told the story in Black Ops. The first one, so
Yes.
So different Call of Duties had different stories. Some of the early ones not so much.
Mason, we're in freaking war here. Can't read the code. Oh, I can't understand these numbers.
All right. So I guess I'll go now.
Hey, go ahead.
Stories. Unless you got more.
That's all I can think of for the time being.
Alright, my list is going to be completely different, except for Metal Gear Solid, although it's not really the story that sticks with me, it's like the ending or that scene in Metal Gear Solid 2 that you were talking about. It's the endings that stick with me in that game more than the actual entire story.
Oh yeah.
The story games that stick with me a lot. Like I said, I have to bring up Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm. But that just seeing everything that Chloe went through in both games, that's actually the first time I felt really bad for a video game character. Just seeing everything she went through in those two games, because like one game happens 1 year before the other, so you know the two games range over 2 years, and it's just like, wow, everything she went through, not to mention what she went through earlier. Let's see, what else? The Walking Dead, I played all 4 games.
Oh yeah, that's life lessons in those games too, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how they did The Walking Dead, because like in 1 and 3 you play as in 1 you play as Lee, in 3 you play as Javi, but in 2 and 4 you play as Clementine.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. Like 2 you play as Clementine, 3 you play as Javi, interacting with Clementine. Then 4 you play as Clementine again, herself. And it's just like how they switch back and forth.
Yeah,
like, in one game, you're trying to earn Clementine's respect, you're trying to earn her loyalty, which I did, like in 3, but then 4, you're playing as her.
Yeah, I'm sure they transfer all that data from 1, 2, and 3 into 4 so far by now. Because it's a feature. It's a feature that every Walking Dead game you play, the previous data of that game will transfer to the newer game.
The previous choices you made in the previous game will transfer over.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, yeah. So whatever you did in season 1, 2, and 3 will transfer over to this 4th season.
Yeah. And I do hope Skybound makes more games in the future. Although, with the way the 4th season of The Walking Dead ended, I'm just not sure what they could do.
I never played season 4 yet, but I hope it left a good ending. Did they?
Huh?
Did they leave a good ending in season 4?
There's multiple endings in season 4.
Okay. Alright.
I mean, I can tell you the ending I got, but...
Don't spoil it for me. Not yet. I'll buy it eventually.
Okay.
Maybe I can ask my aunt to buy me season 4 of Walking Dead for my birthday next 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, it's not too expensive. It's like $20.
$20 can be allowed to me right now, James. So.
And that's if you buy it digitally.
If I can ever get my refund from my college that shut down on me, that'll be great. I'll definitely use that money to buy stuff.
Okay, so anyway, the Walking Dead story has been a lot to me. Life is Strange meant a lot. I also have to say, going back into like the mid 2010s, early 2010s, the story of Beyond Two Souls, which was a PlayStation 3 exclusive, that story stuck with me. You want to talk about someone going through crap the first 25 years of their life.
Oh wow. How about Heavy Rain? I heard it was a good movie as well.
Heavy Rain, that was before Beyond Two Souls. Heavy Rain was a story, and yeah, there's multiple endings in that also. It's a shame that Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain are Sony exclusives.
Yeah, eventually I'll get the PS3 and buy it. I hope I can find a PS3 for about $300 brand like new at least. Something like that.
Oh, good luck on finding a PS3 brand new and being able to afford it. But
the cheapest I saw was $1,000 for a brand new PS3 bundle.
Yeah, really. But the thing is, they did re-release Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls in the same package for PS4.
That's good.
But I played both games to completion on PS3, so but like I said, the story, even Heavy Rain, somewhat still sticks with me. Not as much since I played Beyond Two Souls.
Right.
Yeah. So and it's really, and what's more The Walking Dead and Life is Strange. Really what stuck with me was just like how bad I felt for the main character, or maybe a supporting character that still had a big role. Like I said, I felt so bad for Kenny when you separate from him in the second season of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that sucks.
Um, so like I felt bad. Basically for everything Clementine had to go through, although she handled it just as well as anyone could have.
At her age, especially, yeah.
So, and like I said, I even made like a top 10 list of video game characters I felt bad for. Chloe from Life is Strange was number 2 on the list. Yeah, so it's those stories. It's those games that had stories that like I still think about even when I'm not playing the game.
I see.
Yeah, nothing mainstream like Resident Evil or Call of Duty or anything.
Resident Evil has a good theme about like corporations being too powerful and too corrupt at times. That's what's going on with companies like Amazon and with pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, Procter & Gamble, GSK, also known as Gladstone, and Knowles, something like that. So there's these multi-billion-dollar, almost multi-trillion-dollars, if you put them together, type of industries, taking over shit with their public health. What's going on with the vaccines level? And I'm sure you heard by now that they're forcing here in New York, specifically in New York City, if you want to go to the gym, restaurants, or the theater, you have to have a vaccine pass in order to get through. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, even in Madison Square Garden, WWE's running a show, and Madison Square Garden said if you don't have the vaccine pass, you will not be allowed inside Madison Square Garden.
Fucking stupid as hell. That's why. And I have a gym membership I paid into. You tell me that even though I paid into the service, you're forcing me to wear, not if you're not wearing a mask, that's one thing. But to have a vaccine mask in order to work out at a gym, get the fuck out of here.
Not to mention also, what no one is covering, or very few people are covering, is what do these mask mandates mean for someone who can't get the vaccine?
Especially if they have allergic reactions to vaccines, yeah.
One person who was in a stream led by wrestling YouTuber BC Amplified, one person goes, he's like, I have compromised immune system. My doctor will not give me the vaccine.
Oh wow.
And BC's like, yeah, what about those people? Are they banned from Madison Square Garden now?
At some places,
you can't get the vaccine. You can't get the vaccine if you're pregnant because it might affect your child.
yes.
I'm not getting the vaccine because there were reports that people who had food allergies that took the vaccine, their throats ended up closing up.
Oh wow.
I've had food allergies since I was born, so I'm not getting the vaccine either.
Yeah,
I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah, you're talking about the foods you're going to eat. And I was having a hard time looking for snacks for you to eat when I was at your house. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been allergic to eggs and turkey since the day I was born. The doctor said don't even eat like a little bit, because it will close my throat up. So, and people who had food allergies had their throat closed up when they got the vaccine. So why would I risk it?
Definitely.
Actually, matter of fact, I was talking with someone on Facebook about this who was pro-vaccine, and when I gave him that, and he's like, "Why are you not getting the vaccine? You think the government's really putting microchips in the vaccine?" I go, "No, because people who had food allergies that already took the vaccine had their throat closed up, and I had food allergies since the day I was born." Again, you don't hear from that guy. That guy didn't say anything.
I understand.
In response, when I told him that's the reason I wasn't getting the vaccine. But you know what? I really don't even have to get the vaccine because all my jobs are work from home. I don't get out as much as I used to, or like when I was in New York, because there's not much to do in Nashville. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not going to risk my throat closing up for a vaccine that may not even work.
And if it does work, it's supposed to be this high rate of 99% or whatever they're saying. So what's the point of taking a vaccine from the start if we're immune to the vaccine from the exposure of the virus and creating antigens within our bodies? So it's kind of,
you see, you can still. They said you can still get it even if you get the vaccine. Well, what's the point of the vaccine then?
and it's to prevent further deterioration. But also they mentioned this Delta virus people have to take now for the a booster shot for the vaccine. That's stupid. You know, I mean, we never had this problem with H1N1, mad cow disease, SARS, Zika virus, Ebola, swine flu, aka H1N1 flu.
Oh.
Yeah, we had all these problems on these other previous viruses, and they're force us to wear masks or force us to social distancing and shit like that. And you know what's fucked up? I can't go to the gym right now, and I paid into that fucking gym. Now I gotta cancel memberships because they're gonna lose money from me, but also I want to lose like proper exercise because I have to use like a portable bike in my room to exercise now. I can't afford to go to the gym anymore after a while.
Right, and I mean I agree with something else Lord Patriarchy said. He said, let the virus run rampant. Let it continue. Let everyone continue their normal everyday life, because that's what we did for those other diseases that you mentioned.
My aunt doesn't agree
living
with
their
that.
life normally, and again, quarantine the people who are at high risk. Quarantine the elderly. Quarantine people with compromised immune systems. Or, no, not quarantine them, but make sure no one that has the virus is in contact with people that are elderly or with compromised immune systems.
Definitely. My aunt thinks the opposite of us. She doesn't mind not only taking a vaccine, but also willing to carry around a vaccine passport or a vaccine pass in order to go places. I'm like, man, I said to my aunt, like, you have no form of individuality, do you? So it's slavery, pretty much.
And my problem is, actually, my one argument I have is look at the flu shot, the common flu. Everyone runs out at the end, like in February. Oh, we gotta get the flu shot. We gotta get the flu shot. Well, the flu shot is egg-based, so I've only had it 1 year, and that's when my doctor was carrying one that wasn't egg-based. But you know how many times I got the flu, only having the flu shot once? I only got sick one time.
And the last time I got sick was back in April last year, right at the height of the pandemic. So
the last time I got sick with the flu, the only time I got sick with the flu was, oh my God, well, I think it was February of 2013.
Oh,
but
wow.
I really have to blame the person I was working with because her kid was sick. She didn't have someone to babysit him, so she brought her sick kid to work with her.
That's not good.
That's the only reason I got sick. And even my bosses, even though they weren't in the office as much as we were, because sometimes they used the office after we left, I heard even they got sick. Even they caught it because, when you're out and about, skin flakes that you can't see with the naked eye, you're constantly dropping them wherever you go.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like how they search for victims or criminals. If you're like a missing person, but like your body odor is still like on a shirt or something, they'll have the bloodhound smell your shirt, and then they'll try to find you based on that smell. How do they find you? Even if you went somewhere in a car, your skin flakes are going through the radiator and then out into the world.
Oh yes.
Just like when you sweat and you sweat falls off your face and hits the sidewalk. Same thing. I actually watched a detective show about that. It was pretty interesting. They were looking for a missing victim or a missing person, and they had like a shirt of the little girl that disappeared, and they were using a bloodhound to find it.
Okay.
And what happened was they were on the highway, and they said the bloodhound could still smell the odor of the victim, even if they were in a car because of what I just talked about. So the dog would be walking on the highway and like when the dog passed an exit, they put the dog in the car, drive him to the next exit, see if he gets off or if he kept walking. If he kept walking, put him back in the car, drive him to the next exit, the next off ramp.
Okay.
And apparently the dog got too tired and lost the scent because they skipped the one off ramp, and that turned out to be the one where the kidnapper turned off. But they eventually found it. But I thought it was pretty interesting, explaining how the bloodhound uses smells to find victims
Oh yeah.
of crimes, and how they can do it even if you were in a car. You wouldn't, if you went from point A to point B in a car, you can still, they can still find out where you ended up.
I see.
All right, we got a couple more. Topics. Investors are rebelling against Blizzard. Basically, this has been probably the worst couple of weeks for Blizzard games. Now investors are upset. People have been either laid off or quit. There's been workers on strike. What do you think of this?
The investors, well, they have every right to know what's going on within the company because they put a lot of money into their projects, and after a while, the companies wondered to themselves, like, okay, I'm going to get a return after all this sexual harassment, frat boy fiasco shit within Blizzard, and so they decided to leave the company, like sell stocks away from the stock market and just let it sit there and see what happens, or just move on and move someplace else to another store. So
yeah, well, you want to hurt a company, you go after their investors. It's I'm not saying you harass their investors, but if you think a company is doing questionable things, you let the investors know about that questionable thing.
But Blizzard, for how many decades, Blizzard always had a frat boy mentality among the male workers.
They may have had it for a long time, but no one knew about it.
Oh, they knew about it. I knew about it.
Or they didn't have the proof.
No, there was a documentary back like over 10 years ago, back in the 2000s, I believe, talked about Blizzard's, raunchy, excitable, extravagant, activity as workers, because the female workers just want to do a lot of the work. Males just basically do whatever how they want to do, grab women's asses, perhaps touch their butts a lot of times, fondle with them, that type of stuff. So it's like that's been going on for decades, and all of a sudden, as Me Too started, that's when with the gamer gates and stuff like that, all that Pandora's box bullshit started to come out, and now we see it in real life.
Me Too and Gamergate are like at least 5 years old at this point, if not older.
Yeah, but that was the start of it all. That was the start of all the corruption being released to the public.
So, but the thing is, you could say that documentary was out. How well did that documentary do? If not many people watched it, I never heard of the documentary. So.
I heard things about Blizzard. I didn't hear too much, but I heard that Blizzard has a sexual harassment relation problem,
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even most people who may have known about it, like, I didn't know anything about this until the story broke.
That's on you.
Who did know something about it, even people who did know something about it, they probably didn't realize how bad it was.
Same here with me. I thought it was just like your ordinary sexual harassment situation. Okay, you can take them to court, get a class action lawsuit, and that's it. You move on.
But it's a little harder when it's the top executives committing the acts.
That's the more fucked up part. I didn't know about that specific detail.
But just like WWE, when they wanted to do a fabulous Moolah Battle Royal for the divas, for the women, people basically attacked them because of the rumors about fabulous Moolah, and basically there was so much fan backlash that Snickers said, "You're not doing this. You're good. Pick a different woman to honor in this Battle Royal, or we're gonna stop. We're gonna part ways.
What happened to Fabulous Moolah? I don't understand.
There are rumors that the Fabulous Moolah were like she would train female wrestlers, and there were rumors that she was pimping them out.
Like slapping asses, grabbing the JJs.
No, pimping them out to sleep with males.
Oh, like she's like the madam, pretty much.
Yeah, and but some of the female wrestlers that worked with Moolah back in the like 80s and 90s, some of them has said that never happened. I'll send you the Dark Side of the Ring that commented on it.
Right.
They did like the whole 43-minute documentary explaining it, and they even talked with some of the women that Fabulous Moolah, that worked for the Fabulous Moolah.
Interesting. I did not know Fabulous Moolah had a problem with being a madam and transferring sexual related matters to other wrestlers and other people. That's
the rumor, because like I said, some of the people that worked with the Fabulous Moolah, that had Fabulous Moolah representing them, was have denied. Like one woman goes, "I wonder who's starting these rumors because you're calling me a prostitute, and I was not a prostitute. I did not sleep with someone that for business purposes."
Interesting.
So I'll send you the Dark Side of the Ring documentary.
I can always look it up personally myself. It's no big deal if you can't find it. No big deal.
Well, it's easy. I can find it on Daily Motion. Daily Motion has all of it.
Okay.
Did you ever watch that Dark Side of the Ring Collision in Korea video I sent you?
Unfortunately, not yet. I have so many videos I watch regarding about politics and other things that I'm responsible for my channel to do on. And I try to say that I'm not going to go get to it, but I'm juggling between like gaming content and political content. So it's kind of like a double whammy for me to maintain my relevancy.
I'm not saying you have to watch every episode of Dark Side of the Ring, although I wouldn't. Although I actually got a couple of episodes I never watched before that I should catch up on. But the thing is, like, just watch it one time. Just start it up. Like, I'm pretty sure you still eat in your room a lot. Just start the video up, pause it, get what you're gonna eat for dinner or lunch or whatever, and just have it play while you eat.
I do that plenty of times with more than one video at a time. So.
Yeah, that's what I do every lunchtime and sometimes dinner, depending on what's on and stuff.
I kind of miss eating together with my aunt and my mom, but we never got a chance to do that as a family. And right now, my mom and I we're not really speaking notes.
I'm sure there are nights that you're alone that
Yes.
You do it, or even do it during breakfast.
Of course. I know for a fact that I can do that, James. I'm just saying the fact that I got a lot more videos to look at than just wrestling. So. It's not the same like I once was before. I'll watch like Payback 2015 like I did like a couple years back when I had the DVDs.
Well, I'm not talking about wrestling events. I'm talking about it's wrestling. It's like it's reports. It's it's what happened backstage. It's I'm not talking about crappy pay-per-views that happen after I stopped watching WWE. It's the backstage stories that you never hear about, except maybe during the confidential days.
I have to say though, there are some pay-per-view events that are much better than expected. Like the Extreme Rules between Brock Lesnar and John Cena, I heard was alright. There's also Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy in a Extreme Rules match back in 2010 or 11.
Match, actually.
Well, the I Quit match was back in 2001. I'm talking about the ladder match. It was sort of like ladder match in Extreme Rules 2010 or 2011 or something like that.
Yeah, the I Quit match didn't happen in 2001. That was like a normal match when they fought in 2001.
No, really?
They had the event when Jeff Hardy, everything was going wrong in his life, and they made Matt Hardy turn out to be the one that was behind it all when they finally picked a villain.
Okay.
Funny story about that. When that stuff started happening, Jeff Hardy's house burning down, Jeff Hardy getting run off the road, Jeff Hardy found in a stairwell, unconscious, like the morning of, I think, Survivor Series when he was in a world title match. They said that the original plans was to use Christian Cage as the culprit.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy was definitely drinking a lot and doing a lot of crazy shit. Well, even though he has a child at one point coming into his life, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, but what I was saying is Matt Hardy was not the first choice as the villain. They were originally going to pick Christian Cage, but he had just come back from TNA at this point. He and they were having him as a babyface, so they needed someone else.
What year is this?
This was 2010.
But
Maybe
Matt
2008.
Hardy and Jeff Hardy always had a feud. It's just that it doesn't happen often. That's all. It's like Kane and Undertaker.
But this was different because like Jeff Hardy had I think it was either Edge in Concerto position or CM Punk, and Matt Hardy took the chair. He acted like he was going to do it. Then he struck Jeff Hardy in the head instead.
Ah.
And then these real tragedies that happened in Jeff Hardy's life they included in the storyline.
Oh.
And they made Matt Hardy look like he was behind it all.
Oh wow.
And then this was 2008 actually, because that's when Christian came back. And,
okay.
Because then Jeff Hardy left in 2010. So anyway, we got one topic left. Twitch now gives reasons for handing out suspension. So if Twitch suspends you, now at least they'll tell you why.
Right.
Which is good because I mean that's something even YouTube did. If they gave you a strike or they demonetized the video, they always told you what was the part of the video that they were demonetizing you for, or whatever, or what video got you your strike, like my review for Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. At least they told you. Now at least Twitch is now letting you know if they suspend your account why they're doing it. People before were just getting suspensions and they wouldn't even know what stream it was that upset Twitch or what part of what stream was that Twitch didn't like, and now finally now they'll let you know if you get a suspension.
That's good. I heard about it too, thanks to Richard Reviews like USA as always. He's right about one thing, sir, because YouTube this back like 10 years ago, you remember it too, James. Anytime when someone copyright claimed your video, you get a strike easily after counter notifying or counter claiming the matter. Right. So now in today's world of YouTube, if you want to counter claim, it's not going to give you a strike unless you want to take it to court or put it into a courtly matter, and that's when you start to get affected by the actual strike on your channel. So that's good. You get like two chances. Either the first chance you appeal once, and the second chance you get to take the risk and see if it get you somewhere. So
right. Also, but like it's a lot better because like when I got strike for my 2-part review of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, Take-Two Interactive played it, and I didn't even have a chance to appeal it. It just was. We have deleted these videos. We have given you a strike. Please do not upload these videos again. There was no appeal process.
Right.
To which I could have said, hey, I appeared in the video too. My voice appeared in the video. That makes it transformative work. But, the appeal process wasn't around yet. Or if it was just to certain partners, I guess. Because I had no way of appealing that. And I actually never uploaded those videos again. I probably should have BitChute or at least Daily Motion. But it's such an old review too. So
right.
All right, and that's where we're going to end things. This has been the 27th episode of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. The next podcast will be in 2 weeks on August 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
2 days before my birthday.
Yep. His Dr. Games 101 birthday is August 30th. Anything else you want to talk about before we end things tonight?
I want to say to people who are in a different audience sector of our audience, meaning that if they're not watching me on my channel specifically, but they've been listening to our podcast, that I'll be doing more recordings over the next few months, hopefully, because I'm no longer in school right now. And I want to take this open opportunity to learn more about other things in life, languages and culture and stuff. So trying to open myself up to more what's going on in my world now than ever. And hopefully by next year I'll return back to college or some form of online school. And in the meantime, I'll do recordings of Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy games and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for all that stuff, guys.
Okay, also join my Patreon, patreon.com/JJJ. The $1 tier will get you all episodes of the podcast that we did, all 27 in their entirety. The $5 tier will get you video game reviews. I'm going to try to do one a month, if not more. I still owe a review for August, though. And the $10 tier also gets you personal Q&A, where you can ask me 10 questions a month, every month. And everything in lower tiers is also included in the higher tiers. So if you're interested in that, the link is patreon.com/rapperjjj. If you're watching me on Twitch, there should be a link to my price charting store if you're interested in buying current and retro video games. And I sometimes stream games on Twitch also.
Okay.
Okay, so good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
And the stream is stopped.